writing your roll numbers in the chat box. Yes, Pranjal, I will give answer of your question after finishing my discussion. Okay, wait, I will give answer.
Okay.
Now the long run supply curve, we are discussing the long run supply curve. And as I said, given the returns to scale concept, there are three types of situation in the long run. The first one is the constant cost industry. Constant cost means your average cost is constant. Okay. So constant cost industry, you can understand when your average cost is constant. When you have CRS, constant returns to scale, that means just at the minimum of your LSC, you are getting constant average cost. So it is your constant cost industry. If there is any such situation where your average cost is constant, this is first option. The second option is increasing cost industry. That means when you have DRS, decreasing returns to scale, when your LSE is increasing, right? So in that case, you will get um, decreasing returns to scale or increasing cost industry. This is the second option. And the third option is the decreasing cost industry. This is because of the increasing returns to scale. Now look, while you are having decreasing returns to scale or increasing returns to scale, it depends on the economies of scale. Okay, it depends on the economies of scale. Once in your market you have economies of scale, then your average cost is falling. Okay, so in that case you are getting decreasing cost industry. On the other hand, if in your market you have irregular supply,
Ma'am, you are not audible. Ma'am, you are not audible and your screen is also black.
Ma'am, ma'am, you are not audible.
yes, due to my connection problem, I lost everything, and actually I was shouting a lot. I was talking a lot and I was asking ki, can you hear me? Am I audible? But no sound is coming. I know in my class there are only few students who are actually listening. But today I was surprised that even they are not listening. But then I found that this is my network issue.
Ma'am, for attendance, shall we post our roll numbers again?
Yes, There is nothing in the chat box. Write it. So what I am asking, can you see my screen?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
I'm sharing my screen. Oh, okay,
And ma'am, after the first line, we lost you actually.
just a minute. Huh? Stop sharing. I'm trying sometime. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am,
Yes,
but your voice is cracking.
Yes, ma'am, voice is cracking so much.
That was the problem with CC1 as well. You lost the network. My God. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, fine. And now let me try to present. Can you see the screen?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, Ankit is sending you request. Please allow him.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the last option for me. Just a minute. I'm trying with my landline, with my mobile phones. Can you see my screen now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Hopefully I can continue.
Ma'am, shall we post the attendance at last?
No. It is already recorded because the recording was going on. So it is there.
Okay, ma'am.
Now tell me, is that diagram clear to you? Because I have drawn this diagram with my writing pen. Is it okay to you? Or I have lost the connection again?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am, it's visible.
Yes, it's
Okay,
it.
fine. I was thinking ki again the same problem is coming. Anyway, try to understand, huh? Because I'm very sorry because I should draw it with a marker pen or like that sketch pen sort of thing so that you can see it properly. Let me try. The first diagram is for the farm.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, can you allow Ankit? He is sending you request.
just a minute. Where is Ankit? Ask him to join again because he is not in my waiting room. No one is coming here and no Ankit is visible in my screen.
Okay, ma'am, I'll tell him to send the request again.
Just look at this slide. The first diagram, there are two diagrams, okay? The first diagram is for the farm and the second diagram is for the industry, okay? So as you know, in the competitive cost, in the perfectly competitive market, there are a lot of farms. So, and they are actually identical to each other. So that is why I have taken one of them here. So this is the industry and the first one is for the farm. Now look, in case of the farm, in case of the industry, there is a normal demand and supply curve. Is it visible that downward sloping demand and upward rising supply? Is that diagram clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I cannot understand when I am losing my network. So that is why I am asking repeatedly. Now look, this is the demand curve and this is the supply curve of the industry. Okay. And this is your equilibrium point. Yes. So this is your equilibrium point. Okay. So market clearing price you are getting as P bar. So this is the market clearing price. And as you know, for a farm, this price is given. So that P bar is given to that farm. Okay. And this is the price given to the farm, P bar. And you know, P bar is equal to AR is equal to MR and all this. Now this is the long run. We have started from the long run situation. So equilibrium is at E. Okay. This curve is showing the LSE. Actually, that flatter one is the LSE curve, and the curve which is cutting that LSE curve from below and is a bit steeper is the LMC curve. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
This is your MC curve, LMC curve. Let me write. This is your MC curve. And this is your AC curve. These are all long run. These are all long run. This is your AC curve. Fine. Now look what happened. This is actually step by step. So you have to understand all the steps first. So you have your LMC, you have your LSE, you have the long run equilibrium in the industry as well as for the farm at E. Done. Now, because some reason, because of any reason, we are not concerned, we are not interested about those reasons, the demand in the market has increased. Okay, demand in the market has increased. So
Ma'am,
you
can you
can,
check once now? He said he sent the request.
okay. Look, where is Ankit? You all see my screen now, so where is Ankit? Tell me. Ankit is also facing network problem, I think.
Yes, ma'am, he said he sent the request, but like he can't enter the meeting.
Look at this. Look at my screen. Where is the request? If there is any request, it is visible. Someone is trying to enter like this. So where it is? It is not. So I think he is also facing the network problem. Now let me come back here. Because of some reason, the demand in the market has increased. And that is why we are getting the new demand curve D1. Okay, and the demand curve is, demand curve is upward shifted, and you are getting new equilibrium B. But B, remember, B is the short run equilibrium. Okay, I will explain why it is short run. So say that B is the new equilibrium. So you are getting the new equilibrium price, new market clearing price for the industry as a whole, and that price is P1. Okay, that price is P1 corresponding to equilibrium point B. Now for all the existing farms, the price has increased. So the new price to the existing farm is P1. Okay, is it clear? Can you understand? Is
Yes,
it
ma'am. Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
Fine. So the new price for the existing farm is P1, which is greater than P bar. So they are very happy because their average revenue has increased given their technology. Okay, so you can understand if this is their new AR and MR curve and this is their AC, so you are getting new equilibrium here, no? AR or MC is equal to MR. So this is the new equilibrium point for the existing farms. So if I am just drawing one line from here vertically, so it is intersecting the average cost curve here. So average cost is less than average revenue, right? The average revenue is here, average cost is here. So average cost for this new equilibrium for the farm, the average cost is less than average revenue. Okay, so that means total cost is less than total revenue. So there is supernormal profit. Is it clear?
Ma'am, what about MC curve?
MC curve is same as before. They are same as before. The set of the curve is unchanged. If it is needed, we will shift. But for the time being, they are same as before.
No, ma'am.
Given that
The implication after the shift in demand curve, the
yes,
on MC curve.
yes, I am saying for the existing farm, the new price is P1. Is up to this point, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that P1 is the MR is equal to AR.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the new AR, MR and price, everything is at P1. So what will be the new equilibrium for the existing farm? You know the equilibrium condition is MC equal to AC, or no, sorry, MC is equal to MR. So that point is here.
Okay, ma'am. Now I got it. I got it.
So you are getting new equilibrium point on the MC curve. And given that new equilibrium point, your AR is greater than AC. So your total revenue is greater than total cost. That means there is supernormal profit. Is it clear?
Yes,
There
ma'am.
is supernormal profit. Now, once there is supernormal profit, that is why I said equilibrium point B is the short run equilibrium. Because all of you know that in the long run, there is no supernormal profit. Okay, so you can understand why I said B is the short run equilibrium. Anyway, forget about B. Now, there is supernormal profit in the short run. Now, you can understand if there is supernormal profit, so again in the long run, what will happen? New farm will enter because there is free entry. Okay, so new farm will enter in the industry. So they are producing. Now the question of constant cost industry is coming. So new farms are coming, but there will be no change of the position of your average cost, marginal cost, because it is the constant cost. That means your average cost must be constant. It is same for the existing farm as well as for the new farm. Is that clear? So existing farms have these SE. New farms will also have the same SE. Okay, this is a particular farm, but the new farms have that identical cost structure because it is the constant cost industry. Your average cost must be constant. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now look what will happen. So new farms are entering with the same average cost, same marginal cost and everything. It's a short run phenomena. Definitely, it's a short run phenomena. So in the long run, when the new farms are entering, then the supply will increase, right? In the industry, the supply will increase. So it will shift from S towards S1. Because initially say there are 50 farms. Now the number is 60, 70, 80, is like this. So that is why from total is industry supply is just the horizontal summation of individual supply curves. So that is why the industry supply curve is shifting from S towards S1. That means towards right. It is shifting right. And when it is shifting right, that equilibrium B is coming down along the new demand curve D1 is like in this direction. Okay. Can you see my pointer? The B point is moving along this line when your supply curve is shifting. Okay. Is it okay? So your equilibrium point is shifted. Huh?
Ma'am, but the resources are limited, so how can new firms enter the market? Like they can enter, but how they can produce the good?
But that is not the problem of the no, that is not the problem of the perfectly competitive industry, because in case of perfectly competitive industry, we never impose any restriction through the assumption on the resource supply.
Okay, ma'am.
We are just silent about the resource. So you can assume there are unlimited supply of resources. Once you can enter, you can produce. There is no lack of resources.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, so that is how your equilibrium point is shifting from B along the D1 because your industry supply curve is shifting. Now, when your equilibrium point is shifting, that P1 is also coming down. That equilibrium price, short run equilibrium price, that is also coming down in the long run. As P1 is greater than P bar, as P1 was greater than P bar, there was supernormal profit. And that is why there is new entry. Once that P1 will come down to P bar, you will get again that normal profit. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Because that P1 is creating the problem. Once that P1 is coming back to P bar, you will again get that normal profit because your cost is same. So you will again get that P bar where your AR is equal to AC. So profit, supernormal profit is 0, and that means again a long run. Again, you are getting the long run situation when there will be no entry, no new entry of the firm. So at P bar, again, what will happen? It's a sequence actually. After the entry of the new farms, the supply curve is shifting from S to S1. The equilibrium point is shifting from B towards the right along the line D1, and the equilibrium price is reduced from P1 to P bar. Once the price is P bar, there will be no supernormal profit. So we will get another long run equilibrium. And what will be that equilibrium? It is called a C. Okay. So C is what? C is the intersection of the new demand curve D1 and new supply curve S1. So once you achieve that C, you are very happy because it's a long run. So what we have done, we have started from equilibrium A, which is a long run. Then due to increase in demand, we jump to B, which is a short run. Again, we are moving along the line D1 and coming to C, which is another long run. So the initial long run equilibrium is E. The final long run equilibrium is C. If we join all those long run equilibrium points, look what it is measured. On the horizontal axis, I am measuring price. On the vertical axis, I am measuring quantity. So if I am joining all those equilibrium points, that is A and C, it is nothing but by long run supply curve. Okay, and that is why the long run supply curve in case of constant cost industry is parallel to the horizontal axis. Okay, so in the constant cost industry, the long run supply curve is parallel to the horizontal axis. There is a mistake. Long run should be supply curve. Long run supply curve. Now tell me your problem from this diagram. You may have some problem, rather you must have some problem from this diagram because it's a clumsy sort of diagram and it's a short run, long run combination. So you may have some problem. You are free to ask.
Ma'am, in the second graph, we have that demand supply cross. So what does that supply, is it long run or is it short run?
No, S1 is the long run. D1 is the short run. D1 is making that short run problem, but ultimately supply curve will shift it to S1. Once
No,
you
ma'am,
have it, yes,
initial
yes,
S. Initial S. Initial S.
Yes,
Not
initial
S1.
S. I'm not getting your question.
The initial S, is it short run or long run?
Long run.
Okay, ma'am.
This is long run. S1 is also long run.
And
But
that
we are,
horizontal line, that also, that it is long run, right?
yes, but why it is long run? Because look, that supply curve, that upward rising supply curves, these are the long run situation. But the thing is, along that supply curve, we are not getting equilibrium. Any point on this S or S1, you are not getting equilibrium. But A and C, they are showing the market clearing situation. Once it is A, demand is equal to supply. Once it is C, it is demand is equal to supply. That is why we are joining this line and calling it as a long run supply curve, because it is the market clearing. If you can remember, in case of short run supply curve for the farm, it is the MC curve above the shutdown point, right? So what is that? Along the MC curve, we are also getting the equilibrium points. So that is why we cannot say S or S1 as the long run industry supply curve, because they are not giving all equilibrium points. Only a particular point is equilibrium given the demand.
Okay, ma'am.
But AC, this line is giving all the equilibrium points. You are getting equilibrium here, you are getting equilibrium anywhere on this line, you are getting market clearing situation. Any other question from anyone else? No question, no? No question. Okay. So we have done the constant cost industry analysis. So the next part is the increasing cost industry. Now look, here the situation is a bit complex. Just a minute. We have to increase the size. I'm very sorry. I just forgot to write with some marker sort of pen. Then it will be better. Look, this is the increasing cost situation. Yes, someone is waiting now. Let me go there. No? No one is waiting. Anyway, look here. Initially, don't confuse. The thing is same. The structure is same. The first diagram for the farm, the second diagram for the industry. This is same. But the thing is, okay, I just want to mention one thing. in case of the long run equilibrium, yes, in case of the long run equilibrium, this point, that equilibrium point is called the break-even point. The minimum of the LAC point is called the break-even point. That means no profit, no loss. That means supernormal profit is zero. So that is called the break-even point. The minimum of AVC is called the shutdown point, and minimum of LSC is called break-even point. That means where your supernormal profit will be zero. Remember this thing, I just forgot to mention when I discussed it. Now come back, constant cost, increasing cost industry. Okay, the first part is the farm and the second part is the industry. Now D1 and S1, they are like the initial demand and supply curves. Okay, they are the initial demand and the supply curves, and A is the equilibrium, just like before. Now given that A, the price is P bar and which is given to the farm, so that P bar is given to them, and as it is, we just assume it is a long run situation. Our starting point is a long run equilibrium. So there is one LSC1 and LMC1. So you are getting that simple, beautiful long run equilibrium for the farm. Okay, so everyone is very happy. Market or industry is very happy because there is equilibrium. The farm is also very happy because he is maintaining P bar in the long run. Any question with the starting point of the increasing cost industry? If you have any query?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now again the same story. Because of some reason the demand has increased. The new demand is D2. Given the supply curve S1, a new equilibrium is B. Now given that B, the new price is P1. These are same as before. P1. And if it is P1, then there is supernormal profit. Given LSC1, forget about LSC2. LSC1 is there, LMC1 is there, and given all those set, you are getting P1. So P1 is giving the supernormal profit for the existing firms. So you can understand B is representing one short run situation, short run equilibrium situation. Fine. Now again, when we are given that situation, when you are moving to the long run, new firms will enter because it's a free entry situation. So when the new firms are entering, there comes the story. When the new firms are entering, it is the increasing cost industry. So average cost is increasing, right? So how to show that increasing average cost? That total set of LSC, LMC that is moved upward. Okay, it is moving upward. So now you are getting LSC2 and LMC2. So there is no LSC1 and LMC1 now. Okay, when you are at A, you have it. When you are at B, you have it. But when you are moving to the long run, so then the new firms are entering, that LSC1 and LMC1, they have vanished. Okay, so now you have LSC2 and LMC2 because you know when the farms are going to produce more, it is the increasing cost. So his average cost is increasing. So you have the new set. Now again, it's a supernormal profit. So when the new farms are entering, the supply curve is shifting to the right. That much is very much clear. That part is very much clear. But the thing is how much? The question is how much the supply curve will shift. It will shift up to P2. Why? Because if P1 is moving to P2, you are getting normal profit. That P bar is not there. So P1 is not needed to shift to P bar. Once P1 is reduced to P2, then there will be normal profit. That means you can get a new equilibrium, a new long run equilibrium. It is at C and you can get A long run, C long run. If you join, it will be an upward rising long run supply curve. Any question?
Ma'am, in the constant cost industry, all the new firms entering were on the same long run average cost, right?
Yes.
And in this increasing cost industry, there the long run average cost shifts upward.
Yes.
Ma'am, why
So
is
the
this?
existing firm, because it is increasing cost industry. We are assuming this is increasing cost industry, and why it is? Because of there is these economies of scale. There is labor problem, there is a problem of the raw material supply, anything can happen. There is congestion, anything can happen, and that is why the average cost is increasing. And that increased average cost is not only for the existing, not only for the new farms, it is also for the existing farms. Everyone who are in the industry, they have to face LAC too.
Okay, ma'am. So we are
Because
reviewing one assumption in this second model,
why? Which assumption?
that like this problem is not in the constant cost industry.
Yes, but what assumption we are violating?
N- No, ma'am, like the assumption like all the firms will remain on the same average cost curve in the first
No,
model.
that is not the assumption. That is not the assumption. Assumption was free entry exit. There was no assumption on the cost. We
Okay,
are
ma'am.
facing the homogeneous production function. These are there. But there was no assumption on the cost. Cost can change.
Okay, so we have these economies of the scale in
Yes,
this.
yes, yes, yes,
That's
yes.
okay.
New firms are coming now. New firms are coming. So in the reality, you also getting that problem. The existing firms are getting the problem. New firms may get the problem because new entry is there. So labor problem may be an issue. The space problem may be an issue. Anyhow, there is these economies of scale. And that is why per unit production cost has increased. Okay, so this is about the increasing cost industry. Acha. I have decreasing cost industry as well, but that I want to discuss in the next class because it's a bit difficult in that sense because but this type of complex diagram we never did. So two diagrams, lot of lines, short run, long run, equilibrium, disequilibrium, entry, exit. So it's a lot. So that is why I just want to stop here on this discussion. Definitely you will just read it. You will just listen my class again, and then tomorrow I will discuss the next one. This is my first thing. And the second thing I just want to tell you that in case of yes, in case of production and in case of cost, it was done 3 months back, right? Production cost, and I have a great doubt that how many of you can remember all those. So that is why in the next class I will discuss first I will discuss the decreasing cost industry section. Then I will discuss the previous questions on perfect competition. And then after I will go back to the production. I just can't remember whether I have discussed the university question on production.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so in that case, in the next class, last part, I will discuss the university questions on production and cost. If you have any query on production and cost, you can ask me there. Okay, because I have discussed it 3 or 3.5 months back, so it's a long time. In between, you have to give your sem 2 exam and all this. So that is why this is my way of thinking. What do you think? Is it okay? I just
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
revise.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that will be better because otherwise I have only one unit left, that is the perfectly competitive input market. I will discuss it. But I have finished my syllabus and you just forgot everything. of the initial syllabus, so that will not be good. So it's better to repeat it, and then I have enough time to
You
discuss
can
the
take
last.
short exams also. And you can take short exams also. Otherwise, there will be no
Yes,
incentives to study.
your friends are going to.
No, no, not the serious one. Like, not the. It will not be calculated in semester exams, but like for the incentive to study. Otherwise, there is no urgency.
Yes, that also I was thinking that I will take one class test on each and every unit. But as you are saying, that is why I am telling you, after this class, you have to face your friends. Anyway, I will take it, but after the revision of production and cost, I will definitely take some exams. Okay, and now it is the question of Pranjal. Pranjal was asking. There is no question right now in the chat box because of my technical problem. Okay, Khirabdi, yes, Khirabdi is very serious about the reference part. She is always asking about the reference. For the reference, yes, you can go through Pindai. You can go through Ferguson and Gold. All these diagrams are in Ferguson and Gold. Once you have it, you can just read it out. Huh? Otherwise, Pindai is okay. Okay. Now the thing is regarding the Pranjal. Pranjal was asking that why MRS is falling when you are moving along the indifference curve, right? That was the question, na?
Yes, ma'am. I see strictly convex. Why is MRS falling?
Strictly convex, yes. Now look, for that, just a minute. I need a white space. Yes. No. Here I cannot. Yes. Now look at this. This is a space. Huh? I have to use this space. Yes. Now look, Pranjal, you have this axis and just consider my diagram, huh? Because I am very much new in this field. So this is your indifference curve, okay? Here you are measuring x, and on the vertical axis you are measuring y. My handwriting is very poor actually. It's just like nursery students. Now look, this is your indifference curve. Huh? So you are talking about the movement along the, it is strictly convex. There is no question, it is strictly convex. Now along the indifference curve, when you are moving from here to here, you are moving, just a minute, let me use that pointer. Yes. You are moving from here to here. Okay. So what you are doing? You are consuming more x and less y. Okay. So when you are consuming more x, that means your marginal utility from x is falling, and at the same time you are reducing consumption of y. So mu y is increasing. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
So along the move, if you are moving along the indifference curve from here to here, the mu x is falling, mu y is rising. Now what is your MRS? MRS is mu x by mu y. By definition, it is the absolute value of the slope of the indifference curve. So it is mu x by mu y. So what will happen with your MRS?
Negative.
It will fall. No, don't call it negative. It will fall. Right? It will fall. D MRS dx is negative. So what you are doing actually, you are moving from here to here as it is convex. You can understand. From here to here, mu x is falling, mu y is increasing. So the ratio is falling, and here also it is falling. Here also it is falling. So that is why when you are moving, when your indifference curve is strictly convex, your MRS is falling along the indifference curve. Now tell me if you have any other question on this diagram.
Um, okay, so that is falling. That negative sign is showing that it is falling, right?
It is falling.
Okay. So, ma'am, MRS is falling with respect to X, right?
Yes.
So if I do DMRS DX, then that is the derivative is positive.
DMRS
That
dx.
derivative is positive. Like if I do the second derivative, it is positive. That is why I see strictly convex.
Yes, 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 yes.
So DMRS DX is positive. Then that is showing that there is a positive relationship.
No, no, no. Just tell me MRS. MRS is what? MRS is MUX by MUY.
Yes, 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 yes.
So you are differentiating MUX by MUY with respect to X.
Yes.
So that will be negative. That will be negative. Why it will be positive? Because your MUX is falling when you are increasing X.
Okay.
Right? When you are increasing X, your MUX is falling. So the ratio is falling. So there
Okay.
is an
Okay. Okay.
inverse relationship. How you are getting positive. So it will be negative.
Okay. Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Because MUX doesn't have any negative sign. It is just a value, absolute value, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 by 6 like this. So it will be negative.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Any other question from anywhere? Anywhere of microeconomics, obviously. Um, no question. No? Okay. So we will meet tomorrow. Huh?